Hey guys, Dan T2. Welcome back to Shadow Colossus. Today, we are going after Colossus number 10. My favorite Colossus, Dirge. After I go bird humping a little. And that's actually what it's called. Actually, the term is hawk humping, but whatever. I did it with a dove. And yep. You can gain height by tapping R1. That's what I was doing there. Anyway, I'm gonna go off now, and after I have some problems with aggro. Alright, I think I'm gonna cut to a map soon, because this guy's a little bit long to get to. There we go. Yep, as you see, like I said last time, you go right through Basteron's area. Sorry that map was up there a little bit short. Here's another view of it. If you have problems, just pause the map. It's pretty straightforward, actually. Anyway, I don't know if I cut it out or not, but there are bats. There they are. There are bats in this cave. Another animal to Forbidden Lands. Anyway, I have to talk really fast because I am a boss at this fight. No joke. Anyway, our hint was an isolated sand dune, and this is about as isolated as you can get. And we just go to the middle to trigger our boss fight. My favorite boss in the entire game. He is a giant sandworm shark. It's fucking awesome. Look at this dude. This guy scared the shit out of me. He still does, but at the same time I have a healthy respect for how badass he is. Anyway, Dirge is, if you remember earlier in the game when I was bitching about music, and I'll bitch about music later in the game as well, I said that there was a boss fight where it actively helps to mute your TV. This is the boss fight. No joke. I was 0 and 5 with him. I muted my TV in order to keep it quiet for some reason, and I beat him at one try. So that's why I hold to it. You know, it actually does help your concentration a little bit just because the music is so panicky. Anyway, our idea here is to run at full speed, get him to come up behind us, and shoot him in the eyes. Now the issue is, on hard mode, he gives you about 2 seconds before he does this. He will jump at you. This is the only AI change that I know of in hard mode. That jump move in easy mode, in normal mode, is only supposed to be done next to a wall in order to reset him. In hard mode, however, he will do it at any time after he's popped the surface. Because of that, he becomes a lot harder, and also requires a lot more skill in order to beat him right. Luckily, I have the skill. This is one of the 2 guys I've beaten on hard time attack, oddly enough. Aside from that, he's got 2 weak points on his back. When we finally do hit him in the eye with an arrow. But we'll see those shortly. Yeah, Dirge. I don't have a lot of time here, so I guess I should go right into his development. Dirge, he's got a couple of concept art sketches, which basically just show alternate things. Just show slightly alternate designs. A very strange alternate mouth that was, as you see here, it's kind of like a bug mouth, like pincers. It was more of a, standard jaw before. Personally, I like this design better. This just looks a lot more menacing to me. But aside from that, during development, there was another Colossi that bared a very heavy resemblance to Dirge and may have inspired his fight somewhat. I'm not sure the Colossus' name, but he was a very long tube-like snake that, one of the interesting things about him was he was the only Colossus in the entire game to have his fight triggered by having you defeat another Colossus. So basically you defeat one and he comes right at you, which I think was actually an interesting idea. The problem being, of course, we have our system in place, we can't really do that. Aside from that, he's huge. He was a huge beast. He had like a tube mouth, and in order to damage his vital point, you actually had to jump in his mouth, and that's where his vital point would be. But his fight was, his design and you know, mechanics were kind of similar to Dirge, so that's why I bring him up here. But yeah, he looks like he would have been a really hard fight, and I think that's one of the reasons why they took him out. Anyway, if you can do this right, I'm not exactly sure the amount of damage it takes, but basically if you can do it right so that you do the exact amount of damage that this weak spot takes, he will not dive into the ground, and you can go immediately to the second weak point. Anyway, I call for my horse, who is psychic and already knows that he needs me, or maybe because we're fighting a giant snake monster. Yeah, that's really it for Dirge. I went over it very fast because, you know, this fight is about to be over in a couple minutes. Probably my best, oddly enough, probably my best fight in the game. I said before that Barbara was probably my the fight I've become the worst at. This is the fight I've easily become the best at. Anyway, let's go for the last weak point so I can take a drink and finish this guy off. Farewell, my favorite. You will always be remembered for your badassery and your attempt to eat me. This is the other Colossus with a working elf, by the way, and like I said before, he will actively attempt to eat you. Anyway, jump stab. There doesn't seem to be a time limit for how long he's like this, or at least he gives you plenty of time to do it. Anyway, with the final stab, we will eliminate this great beast. Farewell, Dirge. See you guys next time. Farewell.